tolerators. This is To All the Men I've Tolerated Before with Natalie Katona
and Dina Al-Khatib.
On our podcast, in case you are new, Dina and I explore some of the impactful relationships or experiences we've had with men. We thank them for those lessons they give us and leave them with some positive manifestations we hope for their future. We've been riding hard on the guest train, but today we're going to have a little fun, and it's just Dina and I, and we're going to trade off romantic comedy tropes we wish would happen to us.
Yeah, and I hope I did this right. I was like, I got into it, and I was like, oh yeah, I got things. This is awesome. And I was like, but wait, are these just from romance things or romantic comedies? And I had a whole crisis for a moment, but let's hope that I did it right.
As long as you didn't do I hope that he buys me a haunted house and the spirit of his grandmother murders us. And I'm like, no, Dina, that's the Hill House movie. That's House on Haunted Hill.
But wait, I kind of want that though.
But wait, I've always wanted to be in a situation where I would have to observe my lover in a ghost situation.
That would just be kind of cool.
Right, you would learn so much. Can you really handle pressure? But can you also handle paranormal pressure?
Which I think speaks more volumes than just handling under normal pressure.
Right. And we are edging towards the end of spooky season, but I've decided that I am going to extend spooky season until February.
Yeah. I mean, I'm keeping all my decorations up till January.
Right. I spent so much money on these decorations. And I where else was I going with this? I don't have the effort to put them away. And also, there are too many scary movies that I have not seen yet. So I just need to keep going until February.
People keep telling me all these movies, and I'm like, oh my god, when do I watch them all? Because there's so many.
We're quitting our jobs.
Just to watch all the scary movies.
Just to watch all of the scary movies. But I'm going to launch in to my first romantic comedy. Have you seen the hit movie with Hugh Grant and Drew Barrymore called Music and Lyrics?
This sounds very familiar. Go on.
So Music and Lyrics is a beautiful movie with Drew Barrymore and Hugh Grant, and it's just so cheesy, cozy, good. And it gives me all of the light in my heart. And Hugh Grant is a down on his luck former pop star. And he's trying to make it as a solo artist, but he can't. Because he's not good solo. And he can write music, but he can't write lyrics. And in comes Drew Barrymore, and she's like a poet or something. And she can write words. I guess Hugh Grant can't spell. And together
completely
they write a beautiful song.
Aww.
And they fall in love through music. And that's all I've ever wanted out of life. I have just wanted to be able to do half of a creative project. And someone come in, kind of like with this podcast.
Exactly. Oh my god, you were describing it and I was like, wait.
Like
what we did?
Dina,
did it.
Dina, you're my romantic comedy moment. I get to mark this one off the list.
We did it!
Check. Check.
Achievement unlocked.
Achievement unlocked. Right, because I looked at you and I was like, I want to plan all the episodes and be the creative force, but I never want to touch the computer. And you were like, I'll touch the computer.
I love touching computers.
I love touching computers. And I was like, I refuse to learn how.
It's okay, man.
That's fine.
You don't have to know everything.
Because you're my
people to do things.
You're the Hugh Grant to my Drew Barrymore.
That's fucking right. Well, I guess we know what we're going for Halloween next year.
Oh my god, we have to go as Hugh Grant. And here's the thing. You'll have to learn his song because there's this dumbass I
remember this movie. It's in my mind. I can see it, but yeah.
There's nothing that makes me more happy than a song that is literally just written for one movie, and it's the only song in the movie. And so it's like Hugh Grant in like an 80s pop band, and it looks like Wham, and he's like, I wasn't gonna lose my head, and then pop goes my heart.
Oh, God, it's trash. That's so bad. Oh, that's so
I love
bad.
it.
Cheesy.
It peak quarantine when we were all depressed. I was like, I'm gonna watch music and lyrics. It's on Netflix or something. And I'm like, I wasn't gonna lose my head, but then pop goes my heart. And they do the P, like it's pop, but then there's an extra P. Pop goes my heart. And I just can't. Oh my God. It's a bop.
Shit.
And there's a fake Kesha character in the movie.
A fake Kesha?
Yes. So Hugh Grant and Drew Barrymore end up having to write this song for like the next hit pop star. And she's like a blend of Christina and Britney and Kesha.
I see. Okay.
There's a lot of like Buddhist appropriation.
Jesus.
And then they write her. Right.
Early 2000s.
Early 2000s. So that's what I've always wanted. And I guess I've achieved it. So my first one doesn't count.
No, I don't think I've achieved it. Well, hold on a minute. Let's see.
Let's see.
We'll see.
Watch us just recover that we're actually living our romantic comedy fantasies with one another.
Well, I hope this first one I have not lived through, but I love the Pretty Woman situation of like rich man falls in love with like a poor person, in this case a prostitute,
sex worker. We've come further than prostitute in the 90s.
Damn. I didn't realize that prostitute was a bad word.
It's not a bad word. I think some of them still claim it. But I think for the most part, and tolerators, in case you don't know, for the most part, people outside of the sex industry should only use the word sex worker. So therefore, when sex workers are abused by their clients, their boss, or unalived by men, we take it seriously as a profession. And we take them seriously as victims and people who work for a living. That's my soapbox for the episode.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. You're right. I never thought about that.
I love Pretty Woman. They just made it into a musical.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I hope there's a whole number on prostitute versus sex worker.
That would be nice.
That'd be a bop.
We need a PSA or something. For me, at least.
Was it the sex worker thing that really sold you? Or was it literally like, I just want a rich man to throw money at me?
I just want a rich man to like... Because that's like the dream, right? Is to be able to walk into a store like she did and be like, well, I came from nothing, but look at me now because I got money. Like, don't you just want to walk into a store with like your rich man's fucking credit card and be like, I want it all of it.
It's not even that shitty boutique that she went to because like I don't even like ritzy clothes. They're usually all in creams.
Oh, yes.
It was the bathtub for me.
Oh, yeah. That was a nice
There's
bathtub.
nothing more elegant than a bathtub that you can fit comfortably two people in.
And the idea of going to, like, the rich, fancy places that you are now allowed to, like, go into, but, like, just kind of infiltrating the rich people. Yeah. I love that. I love that.
Planting little seeds in their head like, hi, it's me, a poor. The minimum wage should be $30 an hour.
And then you just make fun of all the rich people things.
And you get to wear big hats. Fun. There were so many hats in that movie.
Yeah. When they went to, were they playing like cricket or something? Was it croquet?
They were at a horse track at some point.
What's the difference between cricket and croquet?
Croquet has the mallets.
Okay.
And I think cricket has paddles.
Oh.
I would really enjoy it if a British person contacted us The difference between croquet
some help today, man.
and cricket. We need help.
Sorry. But yeah, I think that would be such a fun situation. Because I feel like people who don't come from wealth, if they get wealthy, they like know how to party when they get like they're like, hell yeah, it's like a fun experience the whole time.
The drugs are always good and they're always clean. Like
all right, what's your next one?
Like music and lyrics, we're going with the music theme again. So 10 Things I Hate About You. It's a movie that we all know and love. We love to rage with that soundtrack. So I would like, and like today we released the episode with the guys from Going Hollywood, and I said, I don't want a big gesture. And then I was making this list, and I was like, I would just like a man with soft, long, curly hair and an Australian accent and soulful eyes to sing, You're Just Too Good to Be True, in order to make up with me in a fight. And that's what happens in 10 Things I Hate About You.
I just had like this vision of like you getting engaged and somebody singing to you, and I feel like that would totally like make you just wow. Wow.
In college, I always told my friends, and it was when like Glee was very popular and not problematic, and I was obsessed with Glee, and I was like, I would just like to be walking my everyday life and all of a sudden be in a musical number. Like, I love flash mob culture.
Yeah.
And my friends were like, what if we did a flash mob? But then, like, and then once it was over, be like, what are you talking about? That didn't happen. And they just, like, gaslit me.
Oh my god. Like, the long con, if you will.
The long con, which, you know, is the plot of one of my favorite shows that was just canceled, Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, where she could see music numbers that no one else could. It was a great show. Everyone let me down by getting that show canceled.
Damn.
Another great scene in 10 Things I Hate About You is that paintball scene. I do not sport. But I can be convinced to do a physical activity if the entire time you're acting like you're going to have sex with me later. If you're making bedroom eyes at me the entire time, you're like expecting me to run and dodge behind stupid walls and like whatever, then yes, I will.
Ready to wrestle. You're like, let's go to the bedroom and do this.
And I am a woman who went on a hike last weekend for 4 miles and almost passed away mile 3. I was like, let me lay down and have the earth take me. The earth wants me back.
But a beautiful way to go.
What a beautiful way to go. Because I had people on this hike who, like, there are two types of hikers in the world. There are the hikers who are there to conquer the trail. And then there's me. I usually hike alone. Because while I watch a lot of true crime, I have no natural fear of it. And then, so I usually hike alone, reading an audiobook, saying hello to every tree, and petting all of the leaves and the moss that I want to pet. So I was in the fucking back. I don't need to conquer this trail. I want to just point at things and be like, but did you all see this cool rock? Like, did you see?
I'd stop to look at the rocks.
Right.
I love that.
You see this cool rock? Did you guys? And like, they're like, are you petting moss again? I'm like, but have you ever pet moss? Because it's like real nice. It's real nice. And so I almost died on this 4-mile hike. I started seeing spots.
Oh my god.
I told my friend we have to stop hanging out with people in their 20s. I did not have enough water. And I was like, let's lay down and the earth can have me back. But what were there to be a person ahead of me on the hike making bedroom eyes, being like, baby, but if you make it back to the car, you're gonna have the greatest orgasm of your life. I would have pushed through. I would have drank the river water to make it work. Like,
you would have, like, what's the guy with the spinach? Oh my god, what is his name?
Popeye?
eats the spinach, and then he's just like instantly more strong. You would have drank the river water and like instantly become.
I'm sorry, did you take my artistic ass to a sports activity but promise me sex? I'm in. It's like that TikTok, like, I'm sorry, you want me to do what? And they go, but there's pepperoni. Okay, damn it.
Yeah, it's like, well, fuck, now I have to do it.
Now I have to do it. There's pepperoni.
Alright, you want to hear my next one?
Yep.
Okay, I don't even know what movie this is from, but I know it's a movie. But the let's get married for the green card, but oh wait, we actually fall in love. So...
I know it's a thing that's happened in a movie. I can't think of one movie. Oh, it's The Proposal.
Yes! Yes!
Either he or she is Canadian, and they need to be able to stay in the States.
Yeah, and it's just so cute because it's like, yeah, I'll help you out, and with like pretty platonic feelings, but then they grow to love like one another, and I just think I love that. I love the growth to it. It's just so, it's very romantic, I think.
It's very romantic. A marriage out of necessity.
Yeah, but then it doesn't.
Right. Like how one day I'll marry for better health insurance.
Please.
Like how one day I'll marry for dental.
Dude, I'd probably marry somebody if they promised to buy me dinner once a week.
That's how I started.
The bar is so low.
You have to remember that that's how I justified continuing to date Shamer.
I truly did not blame you for that.
I
get it.
I'm unemployed and he buys my drinks and he makes me dinner once a week.
It literally is more like I don't have to think about it for once.
Well, that's why I want to be in a cult.
A cult is like adult school, kind of.
Yeah, you don't have to think. There's usually a uniform. There are a set, like, community guidelines or whatever. It's like, it could be worse. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, what if it's like a good cult?
What if it's a good cult?
Like, it's fine. Like, I'm sure they're out there.
What if it's a good cult? The proposal is also on my list.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
What'd you have about that?
So I don't want to be Sandra Bullock in The Proposal because I feel like the uptight woman who just needs a good dick to make her laugh is overplayed. But I would love to be Ryan Reynolds, where the guy is like real stoic and serious and blah 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 blah. And I could just be like, but have you ever pet moss? And, like, put a crystal in his hand and be like, you ever hold a good rock? What's that rock make you feel like? And he'd be like, and I change him from the inside out. So I don't want to be Sandra Bullock. I don't want to be changed. I'm perfect, as this podcast has highlighted.
That's the point of this podcast, actually, is to show how perfect we are.
I went shopping today, and Stephanie was on the phone with me while I was trying to leave Dewey's. I got lunch at Dewey's. And as I was leaving Dewey's...
Did you get it because Renee got it? I've been thinking about it since Renee got it, and I'm like...
Oh, that's right, Renee was there. Maybe that's why subconsciously I really wanted Dewey's.
So good.
Dewey's is the only place where I enjoy salad.
True, their salads are fucking bomb.
Y'all, they put figs in them. And pumpkin seeds. Amazing. So anyways, I am leaving Dewey's and I see the most white man of white man activities happen where a guy is in a truck and the truck makes the like poo 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 noise, like the noise that you can make your truck make on purpose.
Yes.
And then some other white man yells, I'm gonna use a derogatory term. He's like, nice speed out, pussy. And then the other white guy in the truck parks his truck and then does that thing where he just like revs it until the whole parking lot fills with smoke.
Oh my god.
And I was off the phone with Stephanie. I was like, I've just seen the most white man activities, like their mating call. Literally. And Stephanie was like, that man in the truck. She goes, both of those men have small penises. I go, right, which is what I was going to yell at them. But then I remember that
They're also crazy.
Right, men with small penises, unalive women. So, and then, and so I was driving home and I told Stephanie, I was like, I got caramel apples today. And she goes, oh my gosh. She goes, you got caramel apples today. You're working from home and a white man didn't murder you. What do you even have a podcast for? Your life's going great.
That does sound like a nice day, though.
Right, I mean, so yeah. I can't remember why we went there, but...
The proposal.
Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds would never park his car in the middle of a parking lot and just cause pollution.
No.
And that's like what pisses it off for me. I'm like, really? Do we need more smog?
Literally.
The ozone layer is already struggling. Like
even the air has to suffer from toxic masculinity.
Mm-hmm. That's going on the Notebook. Even the air. And it's just going to be like a gray ombre notebook. Even the air has to suffer from toxic masculinity. Oh, it's because you and I are perfect. And that's why we have this podcast. To remind everyone of our perfection. Yes, I've dated a man for mediocre dinners, and I fucked a guy on a futon because he bought me Baskin Robbins. But this, ladies and gents, and everything in between, is perfection.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. What's your next movie?
So, I have, like, a trope of forbidden love. So, like, it's actually I thought immediately of, what is it called? Oh shit, it just left my brain. Underworld. So, like, you're a werewolf, I'm a vampire. But we can't just help it, even though we know that our clans were, immortal enemies or immortal enemies. It's just so dramatic. And
it's so dramatic. And this is why I end up fucking friends behind other friends' backs. Because of the drama!
Yes, there's something very, this is largely why they say opposites attract, right? Because you sometimes are just attracted by the bad boys or the whatever, things that you're not supposed to have, or you're told that you're not supposed to have. So that's
I'm a vampire, but you're a werewolf, and on the full moon we will kiss.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll leave our families behind because we don't care.
All right.
Kiss, 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 kiss.
I have a trope that I love, too. And it comes into play in that movie, He's Just Not That Into You. Friends with benefits. No strings attached. I want my best buddy to become my lover.
Oh, I almost wrote this one down, actually. The, best friend kind of thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which is why I end up fucking my toxic friends. And then I go, wait! You're toxic. This isn't a movie.
Yeah.
But I do. For one thing, I think that that's the only true reason that I will know that I can stand you. For, an insane amount of time, because I've already stood by you during your stupidity. And I do. I just want someone to look at me during a best friend day at a bookstore and be like, has she just been standing there all along? And I have. I have just been standing there all along.
This reminds me of, back one of our first episodes where you were, crushing on the dude's friend or whatever.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that moment. He wasn't even paying attention, but, you're just look at me.
Just look at me. It also... I love this idea of meeting a lover in a bookstore. Even though I don't go to bookstores anymore because I have an e-reader. So I'm never at the bookstore. But that's where I would meet a lover. Except for that fucking Netflix show You has ruined it because that's where he picks his victims.
Yeah, he's literally, like, got a freaking box in the bottom of the freaking
in
bookstore.
The basement of the goddamn library. Like,
Jesus.
And
Yeah,
that's where I'll murder you. But you know what? That would make a really good Netflix documentary.
It would.
I thought I found love at Barnes & Noble, and instead I was murdered.
What a mood.
Start preparing your quote now. But yeah, I would just like it if my best friend would just like blink twice, forget that they've seen me throw up in a bush or something, and then be like, is Natalie the sexiest person I know?
Do you have a friend in mind that you think would, like, be the one? If all of your friends right now, who would be the one? You don't have to say their name, but do you have somebody that you would pick? Oh, shit, you thinking, though.
Well, yeah, I have so many friends. I'm very popular. No, not really.
Okay.
I don't hang out with a lot of single people anymore, which is part of the problem.
Yeah.
Plus, like, at the bachelorette party this last weekend, I kept telling people, and I'm like, I find nothing attractive about men anymore.
It's really hard sometimes.
And, like, we live in Ohio where everything is so heteronormative that it's, like, even to, like, code switch my brain to be like, well, do I make my girlfriends fall in love with me or whatever? It's, like, it's tricky.
Yeah,
it's tricky. For sure. Because we're so heteronormative in the Midwest. But no, I don't have anyone in mind. Every once in a while when I have a new friend, I have like a really hard friend crush where it's like, I just want to talk to you and I want to be in front of you and I want to love you.
Aw,
honestly, I would just like to be in a troupe of LGBTQA+ people and we all just live in a house together.
That would be fun.
I mean, honestly, that's what I want.
I've always had a dream of, like, a big house where, like, there's still enough, like, space for everybody.
Yeah.
Like, where you're not, like, in each other's face all the time. But, like, you can come together very easily in the house. Yeah. Which I love. I would love that. That's amazing.
Yeah. What's your next movie?
So I have... again, can't think of which movie this is from, but I know it's a movie. We had a fling one time and we haven't seen each other in like 20... Oh, I think I thought of Grease. Like, you haven't seen each other in a really long time. And then, so, like, I don't know, 20 years later or something, you come together and you're already, like, in relationships or, like, whatever.
Yeah.
But you just can't help it. Which I'm not advocating for, like, cheating or anything. I definitely don't want this. This is just, like, it would be an interesting, like, you know,
the movie
situation.
You were thinking of is Sweet Home Alabama.
Oh my God, you're right! That is Sweet Home Alabama!
Where she dumps Patrick Dempsey, and she's like, you don't have a southern accent.
We're going to the South!
And that guy, I didn't know that glass was made out of sand. That was hit by lightning. It was
been the first time I learned that too.
I was like, that's how we get glass?
Oh my gosh, it's been so long since I've watched Sweet Home Alabama. I might need to rewatch it just to like
oh my
refresh.
God, and the dog is dead.
Ugh.
She divorced that man because their baby died and then his dog died.
That poor dude.
I would have dumped Patrick Dempsey for him too. But I don't know if I would have continued living in Alabama with him.
Yeah, no. I don't know if I would ever want this truly. I don't want to live in the house, or in the South. Sorry, I don't want to live in the South, so...
I don't want to live in a house.
I want to live in a house, but not in the South. Not a house in the South.
Now you're ruminating in it, and you're like, actually, that movie is my nightmare.
It is truly a nightmare, but it would be an interesting situation.
It would. Speaking of dogs, have you ever seen, it's not a very well-known romantic comedy, but it's called Must Love Dogs.
It sounds familiar.
It's basically like the grown-up version of 101 Dalmatians, but there aren't 100 dogs. So, like, basically John Cusack and...
Are they golden retrievers?
mate. No, I think one of them's like a newfie.
Oh.
It's John Cusack and I believe Julianne Moore. And they have a chance encounter at the dog park or something. Maybe one of them doesn't like dogs. It's been years. It's been like straight up decades since I've seen this movie. But the dogs bring them together, which to me is I'm always trying to meet a dog. Uh-oh, are you gone?
Whoa. Yeah, it's weird now. Give it a minute. Okay, I think it caught up. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Okay. Which for me is like, if you think of me, I'm always trying to fucking meet a dog. And like, that would be the perfect way to meet someone. Because while I love my cat Penelope, and she is my possibly soulmate, like this could be the most love it ever gets between me and another living entity. Have you ever met a fucking dog? I love dog energy. Or like, even if I'm at the cafe and a stranger approaches me because we both enjoy the same cat at the cafe.
Well, and like, people who like animals are good energy, you know?
They're not sociopaths.
Yeah, like, I don't trust people who, like, give their dogs away or, like, don't keep their... I don't understand people who give away their animals, guys. Like, I know there are unique instances of, like, right. Yes, okay, but, like, most things you can work with or work around to make it work. I just don't get it, how you have an animal for, like, 10 years and then give it up. I'm like, what?
I did have a trial run with a kitten for a weekend and gave it right back because I can't do kittens.
It's like the people who have had the animal for so, like, years and years, and then they give it away. I'm like, what? That they only know you when you're gonna give it away? Like, that's just...
Penelope was the most domesticated stray I had ever seen. Like, so
you think maybe somebody, like...
I think someone dumped her.
Yeah.
Or, like, moved out of that apartment complex and just didn't take her with her.
I don't know how people do that. That's just so heartless.
Like, I'm so hyper-focused on whatever Penelope's doing at all times. She is currently over-scratching herself, and I'm like, why? Why do we need one more thing to deal with? No. But yeah, I just want animals to be involved in my meet cute.
Yeah.
I also don't try... Like, if you're constantly arguing with me about how, like, you're not supposed to just be petting other people's random dogs, those are strangers. Number one, I always ask.
Yeah, consent.
Number two, I want to meet all the dogs. I met a dog at a winery last weekend, and his owner was beautiful.
Did they, like, match?
No, because it was a Labradoodle.
Okay.
And he looked kind of like that guy from iZombie and Midnight Mass.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Unexpected.
He had good hair. You know how I like men with good hair.
Oh, yeah. Jeanette, I think all women do. I think it's actually in our genes.
And my friends were, like, gingerly petting the dog and meeting the dog. I believe the dog's name was Nona. And he was with his parents and, like, possibly his sister. And I collapsed into the rocks because Nona still had a lot of puppy energy, and I let her and they were like, she will jump on you. I'm like, I like it when they jump on me. It's fine.
Like when they can't contain their excitement to see you.
I was like, dogs get to do whatever they want. Have you ever met a dog? I have a cat. You think my cat leaps into my arms at any moment to give me a hug? No. No, she doesn't. But Nona did.
Oh,
and like,
that's so cute.
I was wearing a dress and leggings, and people are like, "Are you just going to sprawl out into this like,
fuck it,
dust-ridden
for a dog?" Yeah,
pavement?" I was like, "For a dog, yes, I will do anything. I will do anything for a dog. Anything, including meat love."
Oh, perfect way to meet love. Honestly,
how else are you supposed to do it?
It gets hard after college.
Right, I've already missed my prime window.
Well, there's like some statistic that it gets like significantly significantly more difficult after college to, like, meet someone. There are statistics. I've heard of them. I can't reference them, but I have heard this.
I'm surprised that our generation hasn't been the generation to kind of overrule that statistic, since people are getting married older in life or later in life.
Oh, yeah.
And
That's
people
true.
are, like, I just honestly don't think I could ever live with a person again.
It's gonna be very hard.
What if they want to talk to me? That sounds terrible.
Oh.
What if they don't want to watch all of the 151 episodes of Critical Role?
Honestly, I don't know if I could be with somebody who didn't like to watch the same things that I like to watch.
Right.
Because why? I watch great shit. Why aren't you watching it?
Why aren't you watching the great shit?
Literally.
Sorry, you don't want to watch Critical Role? They made D&D famous.
Literally.
For charity, literally. For so charity. Cool. I've just started Critical Role Tolerators. If you would like to talk to me about it, I am watching Campaign 1, but I am keeping up with Campaign 3, so I get to be part of the hype while also, like, honoring my OCD of having to do things in order.
I might have to start doing that because it really bothers me when I have to catch up on, like, 250 episodes of something before I'm, like, part of the now.
The good thing about Critical Role is each campaign, for the most part, is new characters. So that's good. So you start fresh. You might miss out on some, like, inside jokes, which is what bothers me to my core. How dare I not be in on the inside jokes? That's why I have to watch things in order.
I feel like I finally am starting to feel that way about a few things that I watch, and it's, like, so exciting. You're, like, feel like you're part of the community because you know the inside jokes. Yeah. I get it. I get what you're saying.
All right. What's your next movie?
So I have one more. Okay. It is Princess Diaries with the whole, like, somebody who's been pretty the whole time, but then stops wearing glasses and lets down their hair, and suddenly they're, like, this amazing popular person that everybody wants to, like, be around. But then she ends up picking the guy that's, like,
who's been there all along.
Who's been there all along and, you know, has been her friend or whatever, or her friend's brother.
But then doesn't marry him in the sequel. They do an enemy to lovers trope.
We don't talk about the sequel.
The sequel's so good though too. Raven's in the sequel.
Oh, I do love Raven.
And it's, like, Josh Pine. That's who she gets to marry. It's one of the Chris Pine. It's one of
I love Chris Pine. Maybe I've seen this. Wait, this sounds familiar.
It's one of the Chris's that we can't keep track of.
Literally, because there's so many of them,
and they all look the same. You all look the same.
Is Captain America Chris?
Yes, he's
Chris Evans. Okay. And
there's
Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pratt, Chris Evans, Chris Pine.
Oh,
that might be all of them.
Oh, God, there's too many, y'all. Get a new name.
But, like, right, how dare you? How
am I supposed
dare
to keep
you?
And the problem is they're all, like, well, are they all? They're all white, right?
They're all white, and Chris Hemsworth is the only one that looks kind of different enough that you can be like, that one's Hemsworth. Everyone else, I'm like, which one is that?
I feel so bad for actors and actresses who look so similar to another actor or actress, and I'm like, they're like Daniel Radcliffe and oh my gosh, his name, I should know this. Fuck it. Whatever. Daniel Radcliffe and Frodo.
Elijah Wood.
Elijah Wood, thank you.
But yeah, like, number one, I don't want to live the Princess Diaries to find love. I want to live the Princess Diaries to find out that I'm a princess.
That too would be fun.
Where is my old as fuck relative taking a transcontinental flight to get my ass at my day job and be like, you can stop this now. You are a princess. And then I have 22 names.
Love that. You know what I always loved about that movie? My favorite, like, royalty perk from that movie was the flag or whatever that allowed them to park wherever the fuck they wanted and do whatever they want in traffic. I was like, that is wizardry.
That is wizardry. Could you imagine getting to park wherever the fuck you want and it's raining?
Yeah. Anywhere. Just having
lawless traffic laws. We basically have lawless traffic laws around here anyways. Ain't nobody stopping at red lights.
And then, like, the bodyguard / butler that will just, like, follow you around. What was it? Well, what?
Joe, that's his name.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said no. I was like, what?
Joe is his name, and he's in love with the grandma.
Yeah, that's very cute. And they were very cute, too.
And they dance.
And he's got that, like, accent thing? Where's he from?
I don't know.
That's cute, though.
He's just like... And, like, that's the kind of bodyguard I also want. Like, I don't need Schwarzenegger to be my bodyguard. Like, please just give me a mediocre older man who's going to tell me things like, do you want hot chocolate? Do you think that would make it better? Like, that's the kind of support I need.
Daddy? Sorry.
Daddy? Sorry.
Daddy?
Daddy? I also have one more because I already talked about my bookstore trope, not realizing that I had put that down for Notting Hill. So, my final one is the holiday. I would love to be not in my place of residency and have a, like, international affair.
Yes. I'm kind of living that a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah, but I would love to just go on vacation.
Yes.
And, like, just have a vacation time international lover. I don't know if I would bring them back. Like,
you know...
He's doing a good job.
Oh man, I lost my train of thought. Oh, I know a few people from growing up that actually, like, went to the UK for, like, something like a vacation and then ended up finding someone, connecting, and then them getting together. It's really cool. It's awesome.
Number one, I love pen pals. Like, I love getting physical mail. So, like, that's part of the romance structure if you're having, like, a international relationship. Like, I fucking love mail.
Yes.
Like, I'm about to sign up for the Feminist Sticker Club all over again because for $3 a month, they'll send you a sticker. And there's nothing can turn my day around like it's my day to get a sticker in a mail.
Yeah, getting mail is super exciting.
And I love sending mail. Like, I love being out and about and seeing something and being like, I must send this off now.
Yes.
At the bachelorette party, we played a game where she had to guess who bought her what, and if she guessed wrong, she had to get they played like some version of the Newlyweds game where her fiance like answered a bunch of questions beforehand, and she had to guess what he thought was correct. And if she got it wrong, she had to take a shot, but if she got it right, she got to have a gift. But then we also turned that into a guessing game, like, ooh, who bought you that? And she wasn't paying attention to cards because, like, they were like, no, just hold up the lingerie or whatever. And, like, who got you that? I got her a very risque, like, see-through blue robe. And I was like, and a thong. And I was like, you're welcome, fiance.
Ooh,
she had no idea it was me, and then when I revealed myself, she picked up the card and it had like puffy stickers all over it, and she's like, well, had I have looked at the fucking card.
She knew immediately.
Because that's what I love to just like be like, I made you a card and here are some stickers because I have no self-control and I buy stickers wherever I see them.
I love a good sticker. I keep all my stickers right here in case I need to sticker something. But there just aren't enough things to sticker!
I know. Will this microphone handle a sticker? Maybe.
I don't know. Probably.
Maybe
Yeah,
the
but
microphone's
probably the
gonna get a
base.
sticker. Should we design stickers? Stephanie and I were trying to
should.
spitball what our stickers would say.
I think there would be some good quotes that we could make stickers off of.
I think one of them needs to be, "Don't be the man I have to tolerate today."
Yeah, or like a identifier, like a man I tolerate.
Right,
sticker.
a man I've tolerated today.
Yeah.
Or there was also, it was one that, we get a sticker that says, "There's probably a podcast episode about you somewhere."
I talk about you on my podcast.
Right, I talk about you on my podcast.
That would be fun.
You're the reason I have to have a podcast. So, the holiday. I would love to just be, like, in a romantic location.
Yeah.
And, like, for me, it's, like, the almost, like, non-committal part of it all, where it's, like, I just get to do this. And I'd probably end up doing, like, weird shit to you sexually because I didn't think I'd ever see you again.
It's so interesting because I agree with that. Like, the idea of you're probably never going to see this person again. You could be whoever you want to be. You don't have to be shy because, again, you won't see them again, probably. And then you're gone. I love that.
I am my best when I am meeting a stranger.
Same, actually. Like, if I do better, like, if I'm going somewhere alone and I know nobody and nothing, it's so much easier for me to talk to people than it is if I know people, like, in a group of strangers, if that makes sense.
And for me, it's, like, literally just, like, I just get to be charming, and I get to tell you whatever I want, and I also get to believe anything I want to believe about you. Like, there is nothing better to me than, like, making a friend for the moment.
Yeah.
Like,
definitely.
like, we're in line together. You are my friend for the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Go ahead. Because I'm about to switch gears.
You're good.
No, it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
Are there any romantic comedy tropes that you think are stupid and you would never want them to happen to you?
Ooh. Let me think about this one. I'm not a big fan of, like, the he's saving me or helping me or something, like the savior thing. Like, that feels icky to me. Like, it feels like taking advantage of a situation that like, it feels like a violation. And I don't like that.
Like in 10 Things I Hate About You, when he pretended to know French so he could tutor her because she was failing French.
Yeah, I don't think that's cute. That's lying and manipulation.
I, however, am going to call your bullshit because you love Edward Cullen, and Edward Cullen cuts Bella's brakes so she can't go see Jacob on the beach or something.
Actually, though, I'm more Team Jacob, but I just like Twilight. I don't know if I'm cool with everybody. It's fine. Jacob
fell in love with an egg that didn't even implant in Bella's uterus yet.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That shit was crazy.
Also, though, wasn't she like a Mormon who wrote the book or whatever? So, like, she's like, oh my god, they're humans when they're a peanut or whatever. And I'm like, no, it's literally a peanut. It's not a person.
So you didn't bring up Sweet Home Alabama. I had to tell you that that's the movie Sweet Home Alabama. I'm over love triangles, and I'm over you not being over the guy who probably wasn't shit when you dated him. And then, like, you just see him in a different set of jeans and his dog died. And you're like, I would like to leave my rich fiancé now and my fancy life in New York. She was a fucking fashion designer or something. Like,
what is the whole, like, there's a saying, like, you can put, the pig thing. You can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. Yeah, that's how I feel. You can dress up a man, but he's still not shit.
I also, like, in the wedding planner, I'm not into you, like, sneakily, I didn't know that I was making Matthew McConaughey fall in love with me and give up his fiancé. Like, it's still real icky.
Yeah, I don't like the women, like, hurting women to, like, fall in love or what. I don't like that.
I don't like that. And in Princess Diaries too, I've decided that I really do like enemies to lovers because it's dramatic, but enemies to lovers is also how I get my most toxic relationships. So I'm like, maybe we shouldn't fall in love with people who are abusing us when they barely have any connection to us.
I was just talking to someone about this, about how, like, a lot of people who are drawn to toxic relationships, there's a reason that they're drawn to toxic relationships, but, like, you actively have to fight that. You have to go against your attraction to, like, awful things. You have to.
You're creating your sense of normal experiences. So usually it is, like, a toxic childhood or an emotionally abusive childhood or whatever, and you're recreating circumstances that you already know that you have lived through and therefore can survive.
Yeah, and you have to recreate and retrain your brain to realize that these things are toxic and to actively go for something else, and eventually it becomes natural, like, new behaviors.
So I have to set aside the enemy to lovers trope because, like, literally, why am I so attracted to men who are mean to me?
Literally. You know, I was thinking about that when you were, like, talking about the paintball thing. Like, Natalie, you want to go to the bedroom with somebody who wants to shoot you with a paintball?
It wasn't.
That's aggressive.
The thing about the 10 things I hate about you thing is I called it paintball, but it wasn't really paintball because it was like they had paint and water balloons. It was like a water balloon fight, but with paint.
Gotcha.
Which I was into. Because a man I've tolerated before, lured me into my childhood park. He's like, let's hang out. And then ambushed me with paintballs, and I think I still have a scar from when one of them hit me. Because it didn't explode all the way, it just hit me, like, as a rock-hard pebble, and, like, the paint didn't explode or anything. I bled. That man drew blood. And you know what? It was a man I had a crush on.
Oh, God. That's awful. Don't throw stuff at me.
Right. Don't ambush me. Why can't we just have a good time?
Like, I feel like we shouldn't have to say this out loud, but, like, don't throw things at people.
Don't throw things at
like, what the fuck?
Don't shoot your friends.
What are we doing here, guys?
What are we doing here? Do you think that any of the romantic tropes that we've gone over today are almost iffy or us recreating toxic circumstances for ourselves? Oh, yes.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's why I prefaced this with, like, I truly would never want any of these types of relationships in real life. It's just interesting to think about, you know? Yeah. Or, I think it would be a good story.
I tried really hard during my list to really just, like, pair it to where, like, each one was a manifestation for how I know a healthy relationship for me to go. Like, it would be healthy for both of us to, like, find creativity, maybe in the same outlet, but maybe not in the same outlet, and, like, be able to be creative souls together. Or, like we said, like, if you don't like dogs, that's a red flag. So, like, meeting someone at the dog park. Maybe not the you thing, since that's now a popular way to kill people.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah. You took away my bookstores. Fuck.
Stores aren't fun anymore.
They're not. Those were my 2 follow-up questions to make us seem like we're deep.
I loved it.
Did you love it?
Yeah.
Did you feel deep?
I feel deep all the time. So deep.
So deep.
So deep. I'm deep in it.
How do you feel about the fact that you're one of my romantic comedy goals?
I'm glad that, you've reached a goal, Natalie. Like, dang, that's amazing.
Honestly,
I'm glad for you. I'm happy for you.
I thought goals were over in the time after quarantine. I thought I'd never make another goal and that they were all over because tomorrow isn't guaranteed, so I have to live for today.
Honestly, I was just talking to my therapist about this. I was like, honestly, I have things to look forward to and goals, and I'm kind of happy about that. I didn't think I'd get that again, but here we are.
I have been telling people that, like, asking me how I am is a very tricky question, because usually when someone's asking you how you are in some sort of, like, fun activity.
Yeah.
So it's like, when I am distracted and I am actively distracting myself and having a good time, I can tell my brain, look at you, you're thriving, you're having a good time. Ah, you're the drunkest girl at Land of Illusion. These haunts can't get you. But when I'm just, like, unmasked and not distracted, I'm just on a big major disassociation kick. Like, yesterday I stopped working in my office. I was in my physical office. I stopped working around 3. I turned on Critical Role on YouTube, and I slumped into my chair. Like, I would have loved for someone to walk into this. I am slumped like a zombie in my chair, and I took my necklace, and like I went right back to 1997, and I'm in the fucking 2nd grade, started chewing on my necklace, and, like, recreated a new anxiety habit. And and then I was like, am I chewing on my necklace?
What do you think's happening there?
I think...
You don't have to talk about it.
I mean, we're pretty honest with so, I am at the point with post-pandemic life and the slow burn apocalypse where I am constantly overwhelmed, but also underwhelmed all at the same time. It's like I'm overwhelmed by all of the things that I am trying to accomplish to make me happy, but I am also so underwhelmed with my day-to-day of getting to those goals.
Like, it's not exciting getting there, but you want to get there.
Which probably means that I need to start up my gratitude journal again, but I don't wanna. Who wants to force themselves to be gracious, like, to be full of gratitude during the end of the world?
That's sounds awful, to be honest. Like, yeah, that sounds really hard.
During the end of the motherfucking world. Also, like, the end of the world has lasted 2 years, and, like, that's also very underwhelming. Where are the aliens from the Quiet Place movie?
Also, it's almost 2022, which is kind of crazy.
Which means that we will be in year 3 of this.
Yeah. Actually crazy.
And I don't remember how long it actually takes before your brain just accepts this as the new normal, but I also think that, like, that's part of what's going on too. Like, I'm very, like, low and depressed about, like, oh my god, this is the new normal.
Yeah, that's sad.
So, like, and, like, while I know that I am actively working towards, like, my art and my writing and the podcast and things like that, like, and when I describe it to, like, it just feels like you're treading water and getting nowhere. Like, people are like, oh my god, that's what I've been feeling. And I was like, I'm so overwhelmed, but I am also so underwhelmed by all of the things that are overwhelming me. And they're like, ah! Huh.
Sounds like you need to, like, meet more mini goals.
Right.
Like, and that would at least make you feel like you're, like, moving in, you know,
right.
a more, not saying that you're not moving in a direction, but, like, it would make you feel like you've reached a milestone
so,
to
like,
the ultimate goal.
Like, today, we released the Going Hollywood episode, and so when I had to reach out to the guys for their logo or whatever, I was like, also, bros, like, I miss you. I've just, like, disassociated from life. And I go, and, like, literally, like, I can only focus on the thing that's in front of me. I'm also having, like, really bad, like, object permanence when it comes to people. And JD reached back out and he's like, no, I totally get that. The treading water thing. He's like, it's so weird how we're all in a place where we're ready to move on, but it almost feels like we're not allowed to.
Yeah, it's not 100% over. And I think that's the problem is like, it doesn't feel like there's going to be like a hard stop.
Right.
That this part of this will probably become part of the normal, and that's fucking weird.
Right.
So like,
which is another mind fuck to wrap your mind around when you realize that the mass trauma that you've been experiencing for 2 years is actually now your baseline.
Yeah. It's when they said like it's gonna change the future and change what we feel is normal, change our normal.
Uh-huh.
I think it's true.
And
like,
and like our generation has gone through so many changes of our normal.
So true.
So true. Like,
damn, that got dark.
I know, so I guess we gotta do takeaways and manifestation.
Yeah.
And like I'm doing okay. Like I'm still going to my art class and like working on this and excited about everything, but it's just like, damn, some days I'm just like, I think I disassociated for the last 3 hours. Okay.
Yeah. I get it.
All right. Takeaways. I didn't write any.
Oh, that's okay. You want me to? I have one at least.
Or I deleted that.
That also happened to me. So I'll say this, that, you know, most of these relationships we talked about, many of them at least, are like really not like real the way real life goes, or a real relationship. And so oftentimes many of these situations could be toxic relationships. But you don't have to have a storybook like movie worthy relationship to have a healthy relationship. So that's kind of like my takeaway. I think my manifestation for myself is like, I have had a lot of unresolved issues mentally in the past, and so that has led me into being attracted to behaviors or relationships that are toxic. And I just manifest that I know I'm in a lot better place now, and I love that for me, but I want to manifest that I continue on that path of finding healthy relationships and reprogramming my brain.
Yeah. So I think my takeaway is that I am definitely in a place in my life where I need to start allowing myself to fantasize more and dream and think that like there's joy to be had at the end of a journey or something. So like, I haven't watched romantic comedies in a while because they do get repetitive and tropey and whatever, and you're like, ah. But maybe it's time to like revisit some of those old fantasies and stuff, and then really get down to, like you said, so like, is this a I'm trying to recreate some traumatic circumstance that I'm comfortable living in, or is this where I actually want to be? And I just do manifest that I get back. I told someone the other day, I was like, I'm just ready to be the life of the party again.
But Natalie, you've never stopped being the life of the party.
I know.
There's never gonna be a time in your life where you're not. You may go through ups and downs like everybody else, but you're still the life of the party.
Well, and I think part of the problem is like, I don't feel like it's very easy for me to be the life of the party without feeling like I'm the life of the party. So, like, I would like to get to the point where I am back to being the wide-eyed girl who's, like, petting moss, trying to catch a fae lord to take me to a castle, take me away from this all, and that I become, like, kind of that wide-eyed dreamer again, because, I mean, she got really smushed during COVID. She hung her horse onto 2 dreams. And one dream was this podcast, which is going fabulously. And one dream ended up being her toxic employer episode. Ah! So I know that I'll get there. We just gotta get out of this melancholy. Also, I think I got the seasonal effectiveness disorder early this year.
You can borrow my my happy light if you like.
I could also buy my own happy light because clearly I'm gonna need it.
My psychiatrist was actually the one that told me to get one of those lamps, and I was like, does this shit work? I need to see more science on this.
Honestly, you know what does it for me? Indie games on the Switch. Every time I see a new indie game coming out on the Switch and it doesn't have a release date yet, I go, I will survive until Bear and Breakfast is a game and I can be a bear that's running a bed and breakfast.
Have you not heard about the Animal Crossing update coming?
I know that there's an Animal Crossing update coming on November 5th. Do we have to pay money to them to access it?
Okay, so there's two different updates. There's a big update that's free, but then there's also a paid one too. So the paid one, I think, might be $30 or something. It's a huge update, so it's kind of worth it, I think. But yeah, I'm gonna get both of them.
But can't I also, Nintendo just sent me an email, so I pay for the yearly subscription. Yeah. That gave me, like, access to all of the old Zelda games, because when I got my Switch, all I wanted to do was play the old Zelda games. So I think I can, like, up what I pay for that for a year, which I think I pay, like, $20 for a year. So, like, I think they're like, well, if you upgrade your yearly fee, you get the Animal Crossing.
It's something like that, or, like, a heavy discount or something. Yeah. It's definitely, there's something, but I don't recall exactly what it is. Yeah.
So... thank goodness for Nintendo.
Honestly, Animal Crossing was like 2020. 2021 was like Bo Burnham. And we're going back into Animal Crossing mode again. So, like, let's go.
I've been playing Cozy Grove, which is Animal Crossing, but spooky and with more story. Yeah. It's so good.
So
Gina,
cute.
have you started it?
Yeah, I played through it, but okay, I'm stuck on a glitch. I need to contact support. I can't get out of this glitch in the game, and I'm fucking stuck. No. I don't know what happened.
I finished, what was the cafe game? I finished
it. So cute. Did you like it?
I did like it. It was so sad how fast it went, but I heard that they're doing updates to that one too.
It is. They're small indie, so it takes a long time.
Spirit Fair is also getting an update, so I'll have to go and collect more souls on my boat.
I have that one, but I haven't played it yet.
Oh, it's just really soothing.
Whenever you, like, get Steam, it's a little, like, you get games for really cheap, so you just end up buying a bunch of effing games, and then you're like, when am I actually gonna play all these games?
And I'm a completist, so, like, I will play a game until right before I'm about to complete it, and then I'll ghost the game because I don't want it to be over.
Yeah.
But there's Witchbrook. The Stardew Valley people are making a haunted chocolatier.
I think I may have heard about that one.
So there's Witchbrook, there's Little Witch in the Wood, there's Haunted Chocolatier. Like, there are games that will keep me living.
Oh, yes. Yes, like, I have a bunch saved ready for 2022. I'm ready to go.
Because the Marvel movies will keep me going too, but not that new Batman movie.
Oh, the one with,
It has Rob Pattinson in it, and his Batman voice sucks. He literally says in the trailer, I am vengeance, and I laughed at him. I would laugh at Rob Pat if he was Batman and he approached me to fight crime.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Definitely. But you need to check out Spirit of Midnight. It's not released until next year, but it's so cute.
All right,
I talked to the developer. He's such a nice guy. I talked to him in Seattle. He was so sweet.
One of my favorite things to do is to find a new indie game and then just, like, drop it in my Discord and cause mass chaos. Like, well, when are we going to get to play this game? I'm like, never. They're never releasing. That is the way of the indie game. What... Yeah, we need to go see Dune.
Okay, so it's on HBO Max, and I started it. Yeah, only for a limited time, so if you want to watch, if you have HBO Max, you should get it, or we'll go watch it, because it's not on there for, like, ever access.
Right, it's the theatrical deal where it's on as long as it's in the theater.
Yeah, so I started it, and I don't know anything about Dune.
I don't know anything about Dune.
I was turned off by it because I had a bad ex that, like, really liked it, and then we had a bad breakup, and I was like, no.
Nah.
Petty, but whatever. And so I started watching it, and it's one of those movies that I feel like they expect you to know things about what's happening before you get in it, so I think I'm gonna have to watch it a few times before I understand. So I don't know.
That's why
maybe you'll get a different feeling than me, but that's how I
don't
felt.
know fucking anything about Dune, and that's how I felt watching Mad Max Fury Road. Everyone was blown away by fucking Mad Max Fury Road, and I was like, they have yet to say anything to me about what we're doing here.
It's so confusing, Natalie. Watch it and let me know what you think. Because I only made it through the first 50 minutes before I fell asleep. Not because of the movie, but because I was tired. But it was really confusing for those first 50 minutes. I was like, what?
For Mad Max Fury Road, Tom Hardy just grunted at me for 2 hours and expected me to piece together a plot.
Yeah, I just gave up on the plot on that one. I just like when there's like that dude on the front of the truck that's like playing the guitar or whatever. Yeah, that shit was sick.
Good. We have plugged everything but our own podcast.
Yeah, we should do that probably.
Well, everyone, if you've managed to stay here because you're like, I like indie games.
If you're still listening, hello.
If you're still listening, you're like, I am a person who likes to buy indie games. Make sure to like and subscribe because we are an indie podcast. Leave us a 5-star review and a comment about what you're enjoying. Our Instagram is at Men I've Tolerated Pod, and NablieK124 is my TikTok, and sometimes it's fun. Tag us in your story while you're listening, and we will leave you a manifestation on our story. And you can email us questions about anything, really. I'll answer them at menI'veToleratedBefore@gmail.com.
And you can follow me on Instagram at ms.caboose.
And
well, thanks. Oh, go ahead, Natalie. Sorry.
Well, no, thank you, Dina.
Sorry. I got awkward. I'll cut this out.
What is wrong with us tonight?
I don't know. It's fun though. It's just
we went on a 30-minute tangent on like, do you play indie games?
But it's so much fun.
Should we start a video game podcast?
We should just change the podcast name to ADHD Outbursts. like.
So sorry. And remember, everyone out there, you don't have to tolerate being the B character in a romantic comedy. You get to be the sexy main character of that romantic comedy, and you get to make your own romance story. Smiling is for joy, not for tolerating.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. We love you. And we're so sorry.